Hey, Waylon, I wanted to get this out of the way real quick, do some capital J journalism, because do we need to petition for an official stat correction on Bears rushing touchdown and maybe secretly give it to you and kind of walk me through that play where it looked like you tush pushed your quarterback a little bit into the end zone.
Yeah, we all know this bear doesn't go down, so just following behind him and just seeing where he was gonna be at. I knew he was gonna be stood up, so I knew there was opportunity to push the pile. I didn't know it was gonna be right there at the goal line, but I knew it was gonna come. So I just following him down the field, and just trying to make a play for the team. Bear's always trying his best to keep the play going. So as a O line, we have a philosophy of a big brother, either go pick him up or push him up, push him for a couple extra yards. So we had the opportunity to do that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, Waylon, going back to last year, it seemed like the one of the bigger strides I saw with this BYU team was the interior line block, where you guys seemed a little overwhelmed in 2024, wherein this past year it seems like you guys were really able to assert your will late in that game. What strides have you seen from your interior linemen, and how were you able to get that done against a team like Utah?
I think it's just our preparation throughout the week. We knew we had to win the line of scrimmage, especially later in the game. The run game's kind of like compound interest. It gets harder for them to defend it later in the game as long as we keep our physicality up and just keep pushing the line.
Yeah, Waylon, just wanted to ask you how you feeling physically. I know you had a slow start to the season due to some injuries and the like, but how are you feeling right now?
Man, I'm feeling great. Pretty much at 100% now. I had to deal with some small minor injuries earlier in the season, but I'm feeling good now.
You guys have been rotating pretty heavily at guard. Can you just kind of walk us through that and how you adjust to not playing every snap of every game?
To be honest, it's been nice taking some snaps off of my body and just being able to be healthy later in the season and props to Sonny, Kyle, and Austin too. I think we're all pretty solid and we're all good enough to start. So just having that rotation and taking snaps off of our body has been nice.
Hey, Weylin, 2 years ago when Iowa State beat you guys pretty good in Provo, they especially kind of handled you guys in the trenches, as Kalani said after the game. Does that game still resonate? Do you guys still remember that? I know it was 2 years ago, and what's kind of the feeling among the guys as you go to play Iowa State again?
Man, yeah, it definitely still left a bad taste in my mouth. We got handled pretty well up front. Um, I think just using that as some extra motivation throughout the week and remembering what happened in LES and trying to do it to them this coming up Saturday.
Yeah, Waylon Kalani spoke at length about this, but you guys are in a remarkably similar spot as you were last year, where you were undefeated after Utah, and last year you lost two straight. How aware is the team of that, and what strides are you guys making to avoid that same fate this time around?
I think we're very aware. The game this past weekend it was a very emotional game. So I just think um just kind of letting yourself emotionally realize that and then letting it go. It was fun, it was good, but just like what we said last week, it's a week to week basis. We got to worry about our opponent this week and almost forget what happened last week.
Yeah, Waylon, Coach Satake was talking about the fact that you guys have a bye week after this week, and I guess use the term empty the tank. Does that help you guys in any ways? You get ready to potentially push for an 8-0 record?
Honestly, I think it doesn't. I think just kind of what I said last week, or just barely. It's a week by week thing. We got to put it all on the line every week. It's not easy to be undefeated. You have a big target on your back. Everyone's gonna be gunning for you. So you just got to take each week for. You can't take each week for granted, and you just got to put everything you got into it.
I also wanted to ask you, just in terms of the level of play now in the Big 12, have you noticed how, like, because we look at the standings as media, we look at how crazy these games go each week. It seems like teams are beating up on each other. How do you guys stay above the fray when it comes to that?
Man, just kind of what I already said. It's a week to week thing. Just putting maximum preparation into each team and giving it our all throughout the weekend. And then when it comes to Saturday, playing our best when it's
Parker,
time.
just kind of give us your reaction. We get to talk to you post game, but what was your reaction with the big win over Utah?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big win. It was a fun win, definitely to be able to do it at home and get over our rival. There's a lot of emotions going into that game, and you don't really realize it during the week, but once it's after, there's a lot of stress that's like relieved off of you. And yeah, it was good to get that W.
I also want to ask you, your multifaceted role has been people are paying more and more attention to you and the different things you're doing on the field. How validating is it to see your, I guess, star rising?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see, but I mean, I'm nowhere near where I want to be right now. I know I can keep getting better each week and keep proving people wrong, and that's what I'm going to keep continuing to do. I'm not going to settle. I'm going to keep being humble and hungry and keep growing as a receiver.
And PK, it's no shocker at this point, and I think Kalani brought it up in the locker room with you guys afterwards that the week after the rivalry game hasn't been very kind to both teams, really, quite frankly. Does recognizing that the like kind of coming off of the emotion of a rivalry week maybe help you prepare for this week to try to kind of break an unfortunate trend for you guys?
Yeah, obviously we want to keep going 1-0 each week, and um, like we said, it's the rivalry week it's different, but we try to not make it different, right? We want to go 1-0 no matter what who our opponent is. So I think just having that mindset of 1-0 and this team's just another team in the way of our end goal at the end of the season. We'll prepare the same way. We won't take any team differently. We'll prepare like it's a championship each week.
Yeah, that was kind of the question I was going to ask Parker, but I just wanted to ask you about the wide receiver group as a whole, not having JoJo. How do you guys feel like you've kind of made that adjustment and moved forward? And do you kind of are you looking forward to him coming back?
Yeah, I mean we had guys step up, and we have guys that can play no matter what who goes down at all position groups, and I'm excited to get JoJo back. I don't know when it's going to be, but hopefully soon because I miss playing with him, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun when he's back on the field with us.
Parker, one of the aspects of this team that's been made relevant over the last 2 years, but maybe in particular this year, is the team culture. It seems like that's a really strong culture that's been able to develop. Can you speak to that and what you're seeing as one of the team leaders as far as that goes and how that's helped you this year?
Yeah, I think everyone's just finally buying in. Well, not finally, but like everyone's buying into our culture and what Kalani's teaching us. Um, I mean, everyone's bought in, and I think when you win these games where they're tough and you're down 14-0, you give up 21 unanswered points, and you win a big rivalry game. Everyone starts to see that when you buy into the culture, you do the little things right, that it pays off. And I mean, stuff that you don't think affects your game actually does affect the game, and it's been awesome to see everyone buying in, and we just got to keep doing the little things right and keep going 1-0 each week.
Yeah, Parker, Iowa State lost a couple of their cornerbacks a few weeks ago, longtime starters there for the Cyclones. Is that a point that's been made to you guys as wideouts? And what do you think of their secondary overall?
Yeah, I mean they're a good team. They got a great defense, and we'll watch more film on them as the week goes on. But I mean we're gonna attack the week like we normally do. We're gonna want to throw the ball, run the ball. Um, they'll we'll put in the game plan later today, so we'll know more what we're gonna do. But yeah, they're a good team, and I'm excited to play them.
Yeah, Jack, I'm gonna ask the question everybody wants to know. How are you feeling physically?
Good. The shoulder didn't feel like it got any worse, so no setbacks there. Obviously, it was a physical game, so the body's pretty sore, but overall, doing really good and in good health.
Now, you're a kid who grew up in the States, so how important is that rivalry game for you personally?
It's super fun. Two competitive teams that want to win, so I think the environment was great. Cougar Nation really showed out. Like I said, good football was played, and yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, Jack, a lot's been made of what happened last year after the rivalry game, and you guys, as a player, how hard emotionally is it to bounce back and refocus and move forward after such an emotionally draining game?
Yeah, I think we need to do a better job this year compared to last year with that. Obviously, that game is over. We won. We're happy about the result, but we need to focus on this week. We got to play Iowa State. They're a great team, and we really just got to be locked in on this week and put that one in the past.
So Iowa State has one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12, Rocco Becht. What I don't know if you've watched much film on him yet, but what do you see from him? What do you guys got to do to contain him?
Yeah, I haven't watched too much as of right now, but he's got a great arm. He has great accuracy, so it's going to be a big thing to keep him in the pocket and get pressure in his face.
Jack, we've heard a little bit from Kalani this year about him working with the sports science department and kind of Dr. Main's overall impact on this team. What kind of a role can you talk him up for us? Like, what kind of a role has he played with you guys in terms of some injury prevention and recovery and kind of helping you guys maybe even stay out of the athletic training room in some ways?
Yeah, so he has different machines and different tactics he uses that really work, and it's just like you said, more science based. So it's little things like modern, just changing things in the weight room and doing things like that that help our bodies still feel good, but we still get the right amount of work in and continue to stay up on and not slack on any work.
Yeah, Jack, in recent games, there's been an opportunity for a lot of the younger defensive players, defensive line, Nusi and Tusili have stepped up, and then your position group, Max and Miles Hall and Ace Kafusi. Can you maybe discuss the job they've done and how impressed you've been with their play and how they've helped the overall production of the defense?
Yeah, they're great players. The amount of work they've put in, just extra time, extra film, asking questions, they've done a phenomenal job and they have the want to get better, which is a huge thing. And then when they've got their opportunities, they've made play. So it's been great to see them and they have really bright futures.
Jack, I know that, when you're on the sideline, you guys as a defense are scheming things up at times, but when you do have a chance to look at the offense on the field, what have you seen out of Bear Bachmeyer and the decisions he's making, especially the last 2 weeks where he's really come up with some big plays, some big touchdowns for you guys as an offense?
Yeah, he looks even more comfortable and confident each and every week. He's making some great throws, great runs. The whole offense has done a phenomenal job. O-line's been killing it, which with giving Bear time or giving him the right blocks, the right reads. So the whole offense has been awesome to watch. They've been big plays after big plays. And yeah, you can't forget LJ Martin breaking runs every game. So it's been awesome to watch the offense.